After more than 100 years, a Greenwood man now has the Purple Heart that he says was owed to his grandfather. Private Sam Sabatino fought in World War I, but was never awarded the Purple Heart after being wounded in France.
Fox 59 State House reporter Hannah Adamson spoke with Private Sabatino's grandson about getting his grandpa the recognition he deserved.
Oh, he would have told you he didn't deserve it.
For Mark Sabatino, growing up with his grandpa Sam was a highlight of his childhood. Mark describing his granddad as a family man of few words, but with a big heart.
He was a delightful person, and he really had quite a beautiful personality and just very wonderful sense of humor, but he never showed it. He was always so private.
Private First Class Sam Sabatino was born in Italy in 1892. He emigrated to the U.S. and fought in World War I, serving in the 127th Infantry Regiment of the 32nd Infantry Division.
A few years before World War I, his induction, which was in 1918.
On October 5th, 1918, Private Sabatino found himself fighting behind enemy lines in France. At one point, he got out of his trench to rescue a fellow soldier. In the process, he was hit by machine gun fire in his left arm.
I always thought as a child growing up, I always wondered about this big crease in his arm, but nobody ever said anything. He virtually had no use of that hand or arm at all.
Private Sabatino passed away in 1979. It was only after his death when Mark learned his grandpa had neither applied for nor received a Purple Heart.
He would have said, oh, there were a lot of people, there are people who died. He said he would have told you, give it to the other people that didn't come back.
Mark wanted to make sure his grandfather received the honors in death that he didn't in life. So, to make things right, he decided to make a phone call to his congressman.
Time does not erase honor.
A few weeks later, with the help of Representative Jefferson Shreve's office, Mark secured his grandfather's Purple Heart on Tuesday.
The President of the United States of America has awarded the Purple Heart to Private Sam Sabatino.
I don't know what he would say. Probably not much of anything. He was a man of few words. He really wrote his life in his deeds.
His deeds deserving of one of the most distinguished military honors. A moment more than 100 years in the making. A mission finally accomplished. Reporting from Greenwood, Indiana, I'm Hannah Adamson.